climbed the stairs at gentle pace, all except for one. Bounded up and found he was exhausted when it was done. The water baron welcomed us with cold and austere greetings. Unpleasantness became apparent as we progressed our meeting. When Dabov handed the chimney, no one was aware what he had done, what had begun to take place here and there. The flames they licked, the clock it ticked, the moment would come soon. When Dabov handed the chimney, kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. Calamitous attempts to gather evidence of Nestra's misdeeds. Will Dabov's plan provide us with the paperwork we need? The powder falls into the fire.
You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
In Dyson Desire.
Is our business done? Can we go about our day? I mean, if you have no...
I want to look at the other guys and just establish that they're done talking.
I think Greg's just going to rudely say, see, I knew we'd get more response from the people of Tribor. Much more reasonable people over there.
That's probably why we managed to save most of them. Don't think we'll manage the same thing here.
Quinch merely looks over his shoulder, looking disgruntled.
With that, Dabov's going to release the gunpowder within the chimney, and hopefully it'll make a bit of a distraction at the fireplace. And if she turns to face the fireplace to see it, he's going to have a swipe at the paperwork. And then, also, if he manages to, I've got a follow-up plan.
Okay. So you've released the gunpowder.
Yeah, I've just stopped casting Mage Hand, so the gunpowder falls into the fire. It's only a pinch. I'm not looking to blow a hole in the building. I just want to make it pop.
That's fine. I will defer to anybody that tells me any different in terms of the amount of gunpowder one requires to make anything dangerous.
I believe it is a pinch, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just for the entertainment value. No, I have not.
A few seconds passes, and given that the pinch would not stay as a pinch, I guess, as falling, some of it would fall faster than others.
Yeah, I'm thinking sort of firecracker sort of.
Yeah, exactly. Thing. Exactly, that would happen. It falls down. This tiny little pinch of gunpowder eventually hits the fire. And you hear in the room, bearing in mind, I would suspect Dabov/Derek is the only person actually that knows this plan has happened. So the rest of you also don't know that this is about to happen. What can I have? What I'm going to have from you all, please, is a wisdom saving throw. I don't know what I'm going to do if you fail it, but fuck it. So it comes down and... Yeah, exactly. You're frightened of the fireplace. It hits...
Can we play out our appropriate reactions based on our scores?
All right, we'll do that then. That's a lovely idea. Thank you very much. So it falls, it hits the fireplace, and you hear this succession of just crackle, like quite loud. Obviously, it's not like huge bombs by any means, but certainly given that you don't expect it, it's going to scare the shit out of all of you, probably, apart from Dabov. What I'll have from Dabov instead of a wisdom saving throw is if I could have a performance saving throw, or not saving throw, I guess, but what does performance come under? Is that charisma? Yeah. So if I can have a charisma saving throw from you to see if you can adequately portray that you weren't in on it. So what I'll do is I'll go around the room one by one. I'm going to start with Stuart. What did Dweezil roll?
Dweezil, let's just say Dweezil jumps out of his skin. That's a 3 on the dice with a -1. So that's 2.
All right. And Gregor.
I rolled a 7 with a +2, so 9.
Okie dokie. So what does Greg do then? He fails.
He spins around and casts Ray of Frost in that general direction.
In that general direction.
Yeah.
No time to aim.
Can I, as a follow up then from you, can I have a sleight of hand to see if you adequately hit the fireplace, or so the fire, or whether you hit around the side of the fireplace?
Definitely hit around the side of the fireplace with a 3
Right, okay.
plus. What was it? Sorry, that you wanted?
Just an attack roll, actually. Just a. Sorry. Tell us a sleight of hand. Sorry, sleight of hand.
My sleight of hand's 0 anyway, so it's just a 3.
Okay, so your ray of frost, thankfully, goes shooting off. Doesn't hit anybody, but goes shooting off and just slams into the wall, leaving this sort of frosty imprint there, which doesn't leave any permanent damage, but certainly doesn't impress. I was to say Nestra. Krill. What happens with Krill?
Krill rolls a 8.
An 8. What does he do? That's definitely a foul.
Krill's natural hero instinct kicks in. So he one hand on the desk, flips it over to create like a barrier between ourselves and the fire, and then I sort of dive on top of our water baron in an attempt to protect her. Like a bodyguard would. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's almost like a grapple, but not a grapple. My weight's just on top of her, protecting her.
Okay. Nice. Quinch?
I rolled a 10. Is that a failure?
That's a failure, yeah. You've done all immaculately awful.
Quinch is startled and merely blurts out, "Cunt of a monk's handmaiden! Fuck!"
Excellent. Well, brilliant. I'll come to Nestra last. Dabov, Derek.
I rolled a 19 on the performance.
So you succeed on your performance. What does Dabov do to adequately portray that he didn't know that this was happening?
He presumably everyone's looking at the fireplace, so not really looking at Dabov. So he just ducks down.
Theoretically, it should all happen at the same time, really. Although I've done it one by one, theoretically, this should all happen at the same time.
Well, Dabov kind of ducks down to sort of protect himself, but kind of goes towards where the paper would have landed if Krill flipped the desk.
Okay, so Krill, just out of interest, you were the other side of the desk to where Nestra was. So you would
the way I picture it was I'm still sort of stood to the side of the desk.
To the side, right? Okay.
With Nestra being behind it and the fireplace being on the opposite side of the desk to Nestra. So what I've almost done is I've created, unintentionally of course, not knowing Dabov's plans, but I've almost created a barrier between the two of them.
Mm-hmm. Okie dokie.
And if you flip the table away from Nestra,
yeah,
so the paperwork would have gone the other side of the desk, presumably.
Yeah.
Right, okie dokie.
So she can't see where the paper's landed, I guess?
Yeah, that makes sense. Okie dokie. So then Dabov, you would have then just grabbed what you could? Really?
Yeah, I basically grabbed what I can from the pile of papers that inevitably falls to the floor.
Okay. So that's that. So then coming to Nestra, she also failed her wisdom. So she wouldn't have known what happened. Luckily enough, she would have actually jumped to go under the desk at the same time that Krill.
Have you just guillotined her with the desk?
Fuck! Please tell me we've accidentally killed the fucking water baron of this city. God, that'd be phenomenal.
Isn't it?
Have to take out Margaret, the only witness.
Yeah, exactly. So she does that. You jump on top of her and you protect her. She sort of like she fights. So that all happened. So all of those things have happened, and she now finds herself underneath Krill. And
still sweaty and smelly, by the way.
Still sweaty and smelly. And she goes to push you off. Can you roll me a perception check, please? Obviously a disadvantage still.
A 12 and a 22, so 12.
So 12. Okay. She's just pushing you off. She's just trying to get you away from her because although she's obviously scared of what's happened, equally she doesn't like you or indeed any of the group, and she's just trying to get you away from her. So Nestra, she starts, and she's after, and she's what was that? What's going on?
I believe it was an assassination attempt on your life.
Oh my goodness! What happened? I just heard these loud bangs, and then all of a sudden, and she sort of shoves you again, sort of like to try and get you off.
I believe someone may have thrown a bomb down your chimney.
Well, I'm getting the fuck out of here if that's happened.
I mean, it could possibly have been Darafra, knowing that we were coming for him. You see, he's obviously tried to assassinate you before we could warn you.
Is Krill still on top of Nestra?
Somewhat. He's in the process of lifting himself up. Yeah, and as he does, he lifts her up sort of by the back of her clothing to stand her upright.
Krill loves lifting up people.
I'll help by pulling him off as well.
Thank you. I didn't expect the reward.
So she turns to Greg and says, Darathra, I mean, she's...
I think he meant Dekvar.
That's what I meant, sorry, yeah.
Oh, so what did you say? What did you say about Dekvar?
That he obviously had a assassination attempt on her before we could warn her of him.
She sort of like, she sort of hears the words and she says, she's somewhat rattled. I wouldn't have thought. I don't know why Dekvar would.
Wait.
Is this her first acknowledgement that she knows Dekvar?
Dweezil just now is doing this kind of stop motion to everyone else, and just says, "It's very clear that Nestra is upset. This must have been quite scary for her. We should leave her."
Can I open these damn windows? I'm not taking the stairs.
I mean, someone's just nearly tried to kill her. I don't think opening the windows is the safest course of action right now.
Well, I don't think the stairs are the safest course of action right now, Nestra.
Water Baron Ruthiol.
Water Baron. Don't you dare make me walk down those stairs. Don't
Maybe
you
Quinch
dare.
is the one that can't go downstairs. Maybe he's the cow. Maybe they're both the cow.
He wasn't until you told Sam that Krill was a cow, and now he wants to be a cow as well.
Yeah.
Right, Quinch opens the windows, or at least he tries to.
Does glass exist in this world? It should do, because we've obviously had glass cutting damages, I believe I called it earlier on. So yes, you find two glazed windows. That's not a word. Glazed windows. And they have a simple but sturdy lock on them.
Am I able to get through
what are you
said
doing?
lock?
If you
just trying to open them. I just want to get out.
Yeah. I mean, what are you trying to do? You forcing them open, or trying to?
Yeah, just rattle them back and forth until they open.
Okay, give me. I mean, if that's all you're doing, then no. But if you're going to actually try and forcibly open them, so hitting them or pushing them,
all right, I'll punch in the centre.
Right.
Okay.
Is this an extension of your sort of panic reaction to the small fizzle bang?
I just don't trust this woman anymore.
It's Quinch a cat, and he's scared of.
He's on the roof with his claws in the roof.
He's a dragonborn half tabaxi. Right. If you could strength roll, please.
Strength.
Not a saving throw, just a strength roll.
14.
I can't believe I'm going to say this to a dragonborn barbarian. you don't sufficiently break the window.
All right. Is there a portrait in this room? Like a painting? Is there a painting?
Yes.
Okay, walks over to the painting.
What? Put that down.
He headbutts it. Because he's got horns, he wants to just rip it.
What the fuck is going on? Can I have an attack roll, please?
Hey, he's headbutting it, so unarmed strike.
Unarmed strike, headbutt.
Oh, 22.
22. You manage to. So you find a painting of
Jesus Christ
of Yartar. And
it's Yartar.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake! I was envisioning it was like a fucking person.
No, this is just a landscape of Yartar.
That's a shame. Taking the impact out a bit.
Yeah. So you headbutt Yartar.
storms out of the room
and leave a huge sort of gash in it from your many horns on the top of your head, and storms out. Okay. The other four of you, are you storming out or?
We'll leave and say, well, thank you for your time, and then just leave.
Dabov's going to say to Krill, should we at least help her get the table back upright and help just tidy up just a little bit?
Yeah, Krill agrees. He sort of lifts the table up, and as he does, he sort of looks at, can't remember her name.
Nestra.
Water
Baron Ruthiel.
Just looks her in the eye and just says, maybe you should think on the danger.
I mean, I'm still dubious about the giants, but yeah, that was quite.
Krill points to his arm and says, see this scar? Giant. Points to another scar. See this scar? Window. See this scar? Giant. I think you don't realise just the danger your people are in.
Points to his tattoo. Giant.
Yeah.
As we're picking the table up, I'm going to cast Silent Image to conjure up the papers that I've stole, and Dabov's going to kind of put them on the table. So Dabov's going to pick up the papers, but obviously they're not real, and just place them on the table as if we've tidied up exactly as things were. And that lasts for 10 minutes. And apparently I don't have to maintain line of sight or anything. It doesn't
can you move Silent Image?
Yeah, I can conjure up to a certain size, which is like 15 foot, which I assume the papers aren't that big. And I can animate them in a realistic fashion. So the example it gives is if I create a creature. Yeah. If I create a creature, I can animate it walking and moving.
Okay, so
I'm basically going to animate them as if they were paper. But I'm not actually touching them, but I'm moving them as if they were in my hands.
Okay. So you do that, and you also get an inspiration for that if you don't have one already.
I think I used my last inspiration.
That's a nice little idea. That plus the gunpowder. Lovely work.
Nice. So that'll last 10 minutes. So Dabov's going to kind of do whatever pleasantries is required. Just sort of say, "Oh, we're sorry about the disturbance. I've left things as they were. We've tried to help," and then just leave before the 10 minutes are up.
When you say, what did you say? You've left it how it was, or something like that? Did you say?
Yeah, I'll just say, hopefully we put this back to
Yeah.
How it was, obviously, we flipped the table, so it's the least we could do.
You sort of see her eyes dart to the desk and say, thank you. Yes. Thank you. This hasn't been... I can't say that this has been pleasant, but I would say that thank you for, saving my life if you did. I still don't quite understand what happened, but I'm not dead and you were here, so I guess that you helped. But thank you, and yes.
You're welcome. Obviously, we'll have a look around town and see if we can find the culprits of whatever's happened, assuming it was intentional. You know, this looks like quite an old building. Maybe it was just, I don't know what you put in your firewood, but we'll have a look around.
Well, thank you. But yes, and you see her sort of stand up from her desk and sort of just walk away and sort of like try and walk over to you and sort of like, well, yeah, anyway, thank you. If we just, she's just trying to usher you out of the room now and sort of just.
Yeah, Dabov's happy to leave.
The rest of you are leaving. Any other artwork you wanted to face, Quinch, or have you already gone? You've already gone by this point, right?
Oh, you did hear me headbutt.
Yes, you're not getting inspiration for that. No,
I didn't receive any inspiration, so I just wanted to make sure that you definitely heard that I did that, because I don't understand why I wouldn't.
Although it encourage extra bad behaviour from yourself, I should probably have a de-inspiration point that rewards you for the worst of your behaviour. But I suspect that might just make things worse.
Yeah, I think that would ruin the campaign.
No one would ever use it.
Yeah.
No, it still works like inspiration. It's just for the worst possible thing you could do.
Make him say when you've got to use that dice. So if you get a critical or something, he goes, "Nope, use a de-inspiration and roll it again."
Yeah, so cancel out your next critical.
Yeah.
Rest of you leaving the room?
Yeah, left the room.
Yeah, Crew's leaving, and just every couple of steps, just hauntingly says, "Danger! Danger!" just to creep her out a little bit.
Hopefully, in the time that the guys have been making their pleasantries with Nestra, in that amount of time, I'd like to think that Quinch has made his way downstairs to the. Is it the second level with Barshwin?
Barshwin.
Yeah. And they're chatting away, and I'll wait for the guys to catch up with me, assuming they're doing that straight away.
Well, Barshwin's not sort of stood on the steps the entire time, like waiting for you to finish up your.
Quinch went looking, unless you want me to.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Look.
So you went knocking on the education door. Barshwin came and he said, "Oh, did you not find the level 5? It should be."
She's a bit of a battle axe, isn't she?
The water baron. I mean,
slagging you off. You should have seen me in there. She said, the curriculum's shit.
I mean, I don't see any problem with the recruit. I mean, she keeps asking. I don't know why I'm talking in Nestra's voice there. She keeps asking me to add nursery rhymes, but that's not really my forte. It's not really an area that I'm particularly comfortable with.
She did. She mentioned that, and she mentioned your reluctance to add it. And I think I don't think they should be wasting time on nursery rhymes. I think the children these days should be learning about how to sow seed, both in an agricultural sense as well as in an educational intimacy sense. I think it's important to learn the dangers out there.
Right, I'll look at your friends.
Thanks.
They seem to have made their way down the stairs adequately.
Well, it's been nice chatting with you, Barshwin.
Yep. Thank you. I don't think. I mean, I don't think Margaret's back. But if you wouldn't mind just shutting the door on your way out,
what about Gareth?
Gareth, I've been HR. No, he's he's off today, sick.
Thank you. Quinch flies down.
Right. So, what are you leaving the building?
It is probably best we leave and sort of reconvene and have a chat amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay. Okie dokie. So you hurriedly, I would probably add, leave the Water Baron Hall, hoping that you've escaped before Nestra can discover that her papers are no longer there. You walk out into the probably close to midday now. The sun of Yartar. What are you doing? Where are you headed?
I mean, can we? Is there any danger in us just stopping and having a catch up about the absolute craziness that just went on?
Well, let's burn the Water Baron's Hall down.
No, you do that on the way out. I'm afraid you don't do the fires until it's the last day.
Dabov's going to sort of motion to everyone, sort of like follow me, and I'm just going to lead to like a quiet part of like an alley or something that I can find that's a bit out of the way.
Okie dokie. So yeah, I mean, north, east, southwest. Do you have any preference?
No, just basically wherever I can see. Is there anywhere that looks like it's a bit quieter that we could have a bit of a private chat?
Is there like a little picnic area anywhere?
Yeah.
So let me have a look at the maps for a second. So where you are, it's still a fairly populated area. To the north, I mean, it depends on how close you want to stay to the building, really. I mean, if you want to take a bit of a jaunt, you can obviously head back to the market square. You could, there's pockets of space all over, really. So I'm happy for you to just sort of head in a direction until you find an adequately sort of open area that you'll sort of feel comfortable.
Yeah, I'm just going to use I forget what the ability is called, but the town secrets one that I have, to just find somewhere out of the way. Just wherever it may be. I have no particular preference.
Okie dokie. So you want to be outside, right? You want to be in a sort of park, for want of a better word.
Just anywhere quiet,
like
out of the public eye.
Yeah, okie dokie.
So we sit like a group of crackheads.
Yeah, exactly. I would say there probably isn't that much in the way of that, but like I say, there's plenty of sort of alleyways and stuff like that you could probably nip down.
Yeah,
and
that'd
find
be fine.
yourself. So yeah, so you do so. You search around. You want to find something that's not too obvious that people would be walking past and see the group of you standing there in hushed tones. But equally, you want to find somewhere where you're shut away and yeah, perfectly hidden. Yeah. So.
And I will produce the papers that I stole and just share them with the group and say I managed to get hold of these in the fracas.
What? Did you take pretty much everything?
As much as I could grab. I mean, it's up to you, I guess, what I grabbed and how much or however much you want to share. DM's discretion.
Yeah, supermarket sweep style.
Yeah, it was literally just grab a fistful. There was no...
City tax raises for the following year. That's what you grabbed.
Yeah, it was like in the Crystal Dome where they're grabbing those gold and silver tickets, and you try for the gold ones, but realistically, it's just random.
Yeah. So what you got away with was a few papers. What I'm going to say is you managed to give me a sleight of hand, brilliant, a sleight of hand, please.
That is. Fucking hell. Well, I've rolled a 19 and I get +9.
That's fine.
28.
So you managed to get what was essentially directly in front of her, essentially what she was writing notes in as you entered. You also managed to grab the piece of paper that she wrote on when Quinch was there and said about his colour, and then various other bits and paper that you've managed just to grab off the desk. You pretty, I wouldn't say you got everything, but you sort of got a fair chunk of stuff. So you look through some of the papers and you find that most of it is pretty much just, joking aside, boring stuff. It's she's a somewhat of a noble woman in this town. She's got does a lot of she's the head of all the businesses and all that, not businesses, but she's head of the whole city. It's a lot of just boring bureaucratic nonsense. The journal that you're looking in, you sort of first the page that you could see was the most recent page she was on. The last sort of notes that were that she was making was just literally just a note of Margaret popping out for a minute. So that was all for naught. As you flick through, again, just more bureaucratic stuff, you do notice It's a journal, but it's sort of, she has some dates and times in there. You know, it's not a journal in the sense of like a calendar per se, but every now and again there'll be something that marks a particular day or a particular, you know, something, event or something that's happening. And you do spot in there, quite a way back, sort of towards the beginning of the journal, you spot a note that says Dekvar meeting dash solve our problems ?
Thank you for joining us on our adventures. Please subscribe and leave a review on whichever platform you listen to podcasts through. You can also find us on Instagram and Twitter at Dyson Desire, where we share behind the scenes bits and bobs, and we'd love to interact with you there.
Welcome to Roleplay Retcon Studios, located at the nexus of all alternate universes, including the sexy vampire ones.
Ooh.
At Roleplay Retcon, we remake famously disappointing movies using comedy, hindsight, and tabletop RPGs.
Like Dungeons and Dragons?
Yes, but specifically not Dungeons and Dragons. We take a second pass at guilty pleasures like Batman and Robin or Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and even some controversial favorites like Twilight.
But I love those movies.
We do too, and all of the movies we do have something to love. If they didn't, there would be nothing to reimagine. At the end of each series, we compare our vision to the original films, because why the not?
I can't wait to listen to Roleplay Retcon on nerdsmith.org or wherever you get podcasts.
I'm gonna listen to it before you do.